Ultra Diner.
Hi, how you doing? Would you like some coffee?
Hello.
What's up? Can you edit this out at the end?
Yeah, I'll do the edits.
Oh, yeah, because the stupid recording said there are one participant in this meeting. No, there is one participant.
That was something that you got to hear on your end. I didn't hear.
Ridiculous. I'm not doing this thing. What? I'm not ordering this keto stuff. No way. It costs $9.99 and it's $8.99 for shipping.
At the Keto Bake Shop?
Yeah.
I wonder where they're based
They
out
must
of.
be outside of their minds. All right, not happening. What's up, man?
What are you trying to order? Just random snacks?
Well, yeah, I was going to order this, what do you call it? That stuff I sent you. Going to taste it.
I went to the website, then I saw like a bunch of granola-like stuff.
Yeah, they say it's like cookie granola, and it's supposed to be low carb. I mean, look, it's supposed to be grain, sugar, and soy free, right? But what do they got?
But how do you escape the sweet?
Well, they use sugar alcohol. That's what they use. They use sugar alcohol. It's got a bunch of. I mean, stevia. I don't like that shit.
Stevia, yeah.
I'm not ordering. Forget it. I'm done. I'm not ordering it now. Whatever.
How's it going, man?
Going good. How are you?
I'm good. I'm over being sick, I think.
That's a good thing.
The allergies kick in.
Yeah, allergies are bad, man. I've been suffering too, but I've been knocking it out of the park the last 2 weeks. I ran like 100 miles the last 2 weeks each week.
Jeez.
90 the week before last, and like 101 this past week. I'm ready to roll, man.
So what do you typically do? Are you doing like multiple runs in a day, breaking it up?
No, it depends. Like maybe once a week I will do that. Like the week I ran 90 miles, the first day I did 2 runs, like maybe 3 hours apart, 9 and 10 miles. But every other day was 1 run. It was 12, 15, 9, 18, and 18. And then I was off Sunday. So those 91 were in 6 days, right? And then last week I hit 101. And that first day, that Monday, I did 22 miles, but I did it in 2 runs, right? I did like 10 in the morning or 12 in the morning at like 6 in the morning, and then another 10 at 11 in the morning. But then the other days were all just straight 18, 15, 18, 10, 8, like that. So one day a week I'll do 2. Maybe depends on what's going on with work, Maybe I'll go out, I'm bored, I want to listen to a podcast, I'll go for a run, whatever.
So on those days where you're doing like 12 in the morning or 6 in the morning, is that leading up or in the weekend, or are you throwing those in the weekday, the work day? No,
those are all work. On the weekend, I won't usually start. I mean, I'll still go at 6 in the morning, but during my work week, I wake up at 4:30 every morning. I like have some coffee, do whatever, do like kind of like catch up on a few things, like read a few things that I read every day. Like I won't say what I read every day because you'll think I'm like some weird dude, but so I read 2 things every day in the morning before I start anything. Like I'll make the coffee. You ever see those Wim Hof exercises? I do that in the morning.
Nice. So you jump in a a cold river?
I do the breathing stuff. I don't do the cold stuff in the morning. So I do since March, I've been doing and I've been tracking how long I can hold my breath for. And I've been tracking how long I can hold my breath for relative to what I ate the day before. Like I could see differences if I have a full stomach or if I ate a lot or I ate a little or whatever. It's interesting. And then I'll go running. And what usually happens is this morning I met 2 kids who I coached in soccer who want to get ready to play college soccer. So they want to get back in shape. So I met them at 6:30 and did 3 miles with them. And then my buddy Marco came at 7 and then we banged out 9 miles. So I did 12 this morning. But then there are some days where, 2 Fridays ago, I cranked out 18 miles on a Friday starting at 5:30 in the morning. So it depends. It depends on the day and what I have for work and what's going on. But I don't even have a plan anymore. I don't wake up, set out. I'm I'm going to do 10 this morning. I just go do whatever I feel like.
Wow. Yeah. I need to get myself out there. I'm, the thought of going out, say midnight, just frustrates me. And managing the darkness, it just throws me off. I need to work myself through or just throw myself into it. Because it's the only way that I'm going to be able to get that time to get on my feet. These 1 or 2 hour midday runs isn't going to cut it, especially if I want to do longer stuff.
Well, yeah, if you're going to train for something, you got to train for something. Like, at least begin with the concept of a training plan. But when you get used to it and you like, I've been doing this for a long time, and I'm not a good runner. I'm just like an average runner. But now I know, like, I can go run a 50-mile race, and I know what I have to do that.
Yeah.
I don't plan my runs anymore, but I know, I want to do a speed workout at least once a week, maybe something like a hill workout once a week. And then I'll wake up that morning and go, I'm going to go over to Rockefeller Park and I'm going to do that. I'm going to do that hill workout today. But I used to plan it out day by day by day, miles by miles. And I found like, that's not fun anymore because I feel like I'm forcing myself to do it. So I just go do whatever. It's more fun. It's like less stressful too. It's more fun. Like, where this stuff should be fun, not stressful.
Yeah. Yeah. I've got a 50K later this month, and I'm just gonna go out and see how I can perform. I've been.
Which one is it?
It's the Ohlone 50K over here in it's kind of like my area. So it starts in Fremont, I believe, California, and then it ends up so it cuts through like 3 or 4 regional parks or something like that. And
that's cool.
So there are 2 cutoffs, the 9 and the 12 mile point. So there's a short climb. I think the top of that is about 9 miles. I got to beat that cutoff. I got to make that that checkpoint. And then it does a small descent, then starts to climb again. Then it sort of settles off at around 12 miles, the next time check. And then if I can get those 2 out of the way, then I'd basically be qualified to suffer the massive climb and massive descent the rest of the way. And it's supposed to be stinking hot, but nothing like the stinking hot that you've had to deal with Death Valley. But it's new for me.
I'm sure you'll be fine. Sounds like a lot of fun.
Yeah, I'm excited, but I'm concerned about some injuries that I've been having to deal with on my legs. So I'm going to employ the help of some trekking poles. It'll be my first time with trekking poles too, so that'll be an interesting learning experience.
What kind of trekking poles did you buy?
These are Black Diamond, I think Distance Z or something like that. So they're the ones that fold up.
Very cool, man. Top of the line, right?
I don't know. Are they? They got them for like $60-$70 on at a discount.
The name sounds like it's top of the line. Black Diamond.
Yeah.
Sounds like it. Yeah. Sounds awesome. Well, that's cool though. That'll be good. I'm doing a 50 miler in hopefully in 2.5 weeks.
Which one?
Up in Maine, the Pineland Farms. Well, it used to be called the Pineland Farms Trail Challenge, and then they had a sponsor, and then they didn't have a sponsor, and I think it's back to just being the Pineland Farms Trail Running Festival or something like that. But they have beer there, so that's cool.
Nice.
Not that I drink a lot of beer, but I will after this.
Yeah.
It's actually it's actually a really cool event. You should look at it at some point. It's a loop course, and they have all sorts of distances there, right? They have a kids race, they have a dog race, they have anywhere from 5K to 50 miles, and it's actually really good. They have entertainment, food, like a big barbecue. It's actually pretty good stuff.
I love that vibe, that kind of barbecue picnic festival sort of vibe.
It's great. And it's in Maine, so you go up, you can, some seafood, eat some lobster or whatever. And it's actually, I think I've done it like 7 or 8 times. And it's a lot of fun. A lot of good, cool people there. I think you'd like it. I think it'd be cool.
Yeah, I've been thinking about the 50-mile distance because I've yet to get there, and been scouring Ultra Sign Up and what are those, the Run 100 site to see what might be around my area. And there's one in, I think it's in October. There's a 50-mile event, and I was thinking about, depending on how I do with this Ohlone 50K, if I come out of it feeling good, I might just sign up for them.
Which one is that one?
I think I'm probably gonna mess it up. There was this thing called I think it was Dick Collins Fire Trail 50 or something like that. I don't know if that's Fire Trails.
Yeah, the beginning of October.
Yeah, and so the thought freaks me out because it'll take me, well, with my 50K performances on the trail, it takes me like 8.5 hours. The cutoff for this 50 miler is like 50. So
it's a pretty big cut, a long cutoff for a 50 miler, so it must be pretty difficult.
It's beating the clock again, and it's also having to deal with the idea. If I opted for the early start, which 5 a.m, right? Something like that. Yeah, what is it? Like, yeah. I mean, I won't be home till just before bedtime. There you go, 50.
Yeah, but at least it's one day, man. I think the 50-mile distance is really cool. I do like the 100-mile distance, but I like the concept of finishing, up to like 10 or so. Like for me, like my best 50-mile time is like 8:30, 8:31 maybe, or 8:30. But I like the concept of, okay, well, I can be done in like 10 hours and then go to dinner. I like 50-mile distance. I think it's cool. I think you'll be good. I think you'll do just fine. Either that or you'll fail miserably. So, I mean, those are your options.
Yeah, I want to see what'll happen. I need to talk to the family if they can stand to do without me for.
Well, what does that mean? Wait, what does that mean? You have to talk to the family. You're going about it all wrong. What does that mean? What does that mean? You have to talk. You have to get permission to do this.
No, I need to sort of set that expectation. I'll be gone before most of you guys wake up, and then by the time I come back, it'll be bedtime. That's a new scenario for as far as where I'm taking running. I've never had to do it. It means a lot for me to get buy-in from them. Like, okay, go out and do what you got to do. Otherwise, I don't know. I'm kind of mental about it.
See, you got to go like the opposite way. You have to like go all in first.
Yeah.
And then like back off later. So they're used to you doing so much. And then later on you go, see, I'm not doing 5 races a year now because I love my family. Right? Like when I started doing this stuff, like I did there were years where I did like 400 and 500-mile races a year. So I was going like all over. And then some marathons, 50Ks, whatever. Sometimes take the family, sometimes I'll take the family, but at least they got used to, it's 2010 now. Dad's going to do like 400s, couple marathons, some of this, some of that. And now I make sure to say, well, I'm not doing Badwater again this year. Look what I give up for you guys.
Okay.
I look like a hero now. My kids are like, oh, he's so great. He's wonderful. He's not doing his races. We feel so bad.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah.
Like, honey, I'm not doing Badwater this year. See how much I'm... What are you talking about? You've never done
Right. Right. I was going to register. I was going to put my application in. I was, maybe I get accepted. But then I took a step back and I said, can't do that. Can't do that to my family this year. I'm going to wait just for them. So yeah, I think that's perfect.
So,
that's perfect. But what else is up? Tell me more about what's going on.
Well, we're recording a podcast, and
I didn't realize we were doing that already.
Yeah, we'll find a way to work this in. So, I think the idea, the approach is we want the first several or few episodes to sort of give a taste to the listeners who we are, and get them used to our lovely voices. And then once we start having other guests on, and then it'll be interesting and sort of less of a focus on what's going on with us and more about finding more about the other person. I don't know. That's just the idea. What do you think?
I think it should be all about you. It should be every time we talk, it should be about what's going on in Ruel's life, right? Like, did you wake up? Did you take a crap this morning? How was it? Things like that. I think that's all I want to really talk about is Ruel, maybe.
Okay.
And then maybe some listener questions about Ruel.
How I wipe my ass.
Yeah. No, I like that. That's cool, man. I think it'll be a lot of fun, and we can involve a lot of people and maybe take some questions. That would be cool too, right?
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah. Yeah. I like to think that we're building something should be cool to the audience. I hope so. And so part of that building is, taking what we're doing now and creating the format or the template for hopefully something that sounds really cool. I already got the connections for music, and so there's options there as far as how we want this thing to end up sounding, whatnot. Maybe out on a run, right?
Can we do a podcast where I'm out running?
Say that again.
Can we do a podcast where like one of us is running, like with Bluetooth headphones or whatever, and we just do it on a run?
Yeah. I've podcasted that way before. It comes across, depending on who's listening, they might think like you're jerking off or something. But yeah, you can.
What? Did you just say what? That just
the bar. Yeah, I went out on a run. And, depending on your intensity, you're starting to like heave a little bit and your speech is kind of broken. And they're like, what is he?
All right. I just learned way too much about you, I think. But that's pretty funny.
But yeah, totally.
Yeah, that sounds cool.
I've been working on trying to get my gear. Just kind of random chat right now. I took some hair ties and I strapped them onto my vest as a way to carry my poles when I don't have them, when I don't need them. And then I found these things at REI, some cord and some toggles that'll act as, I guess, locks. So that kind of looks more professional. Rather, you even know what I'm talking about?
You've got some concoction going on over there. Wait, explain this again. You want to carry your poles, right? Which is another one. I don't know if you're still talking about the prior conversation.
No, I just switched to you.
Or you moved on to actually like the real trekking poles. So you want to carry the trekking poles. So how are you going to carry them? You got hair ties?
Yeah. So on the strap by the shoulder, just outside of the strap, I've got a hair tie up by each shoulder, then below by my waist. So I can carry these trekking poles fastened onto my vest. And because they fold up nicely for about, I don't know, be 15 inches when they fold up, rather than, I've seen, I dug around online trying to figure out how do people carry poles when they're out on a trail. Some guys have them on a quiver, like Robin Hood, but I don't think that'll work out for me. So I figured if I fasten them to the strap, I can make it work. So
they must make those some packs that is like Nathan or one of those, like Ultra Spire. They must make some of those packs that have already built into them the elastic kind of bands that you can just throw that stuff in. Almost like, like how you could carry like a jacket and put it in the elastic bands in the back. I bet you they have those. Yeah,
they do. I think it was a Solomon vest, but I was like, damn, I'm not going to go out and try and find and source out and buy another vest just to get loops so I can put these poles in. And that's kind of what inspired the approach that I took. So rather than buy a whole new vest, I just bought the elastic cord that that can make it happen. Yeah, I'm just out there.
All right, that's cool though.
Yeah, I'm gonna be out there posing like I know what I'm doing and try and get something done. Have you ever had to use poles on any of your runs?
Never. No, never. I never really like either the races that I've done are ones that prohibit poles or any kind of assistance or anything like that, or I just haven't. I mean, the other side of that is I haven't been in anything difficult enough for trekking poles, but I would like to do something that involves like long treks like that. And I've seen a lot of people use them, even in some of the flatter races. Some of the folks seem to use poles to kind of like just keep their balance and whatnot. But I've never owned a pair, never used them. But I've been getting into hiking a lot lately. Yeah. So I was thinking about getting, because my daughters like to go hiking. So I was thinking about it.
Yeah, I only thought about using them about a week ago. Somewhere, I forget, it was somewhere, one of those trail Facebook groups, and Ann Trayson had posted a picture of some trekking poles that I think she was either that she acquired or was gifted or was going to give away. And it made me think about how I've been struggling so much with my IT band, my knee, and then just a whole bunch of issues that maybe I should give the poles a try as a way, give myself that assistance. Fortunately, the event that I'm going to do next allows for it. So we'll see.
That's awesome. Yeah, I want to buy a pair. So you tell me how these ones are that you have, the Black Diamond, and maybe I'll get a pair of those and see what's up. I have a pretty cool story from this past weekend.
Shoot.
If you want to hear it.
Yeah.
I run at this place called Rockefeller Park, and I like a lot of my friends that I have are all through running. Like I have more friends through running than I do like from high school and college and stuff like that. And there's this one woman that is like really well known out here. Her name's Alicia Bajarona. She's done like Marathon des Sables. She's run across Long Island, I think like 10 times. It's like a 120-mile solo run. She's done the Trans 555. She's running all these crazy places, and she's super well known and everything. I haven't seen her in like 5-6 years, something like that. The last time I saw her, she was doing some crazy thing. She needed to borrow a running vest, and she came to my house and picked it up. And I was at the park. And the week before, I was with a friend saying, I haven't seen this woman in a long time. So I was by myself last weekend.
Mm-hmm.
And all of a sudden I turned a corner and there she was. So I had to catch up to her, and I was only going to run 10 miles. I ended up running 18 miles because I wanted to find out what she was up to. It was kind of really cool to kind of just like run into her again. So that was like kind of fun.
Nice.
To, like reconnect with her. It was like my cool story for the week.
Very cool. Yeah,
it's not that cool.
I'm on the other end. I'm, just trying to slowly get myself out there and connect with folks in the community. And it feels great. Making those connections. There was a trail run that I did last year, and it was one of those events. It was out in Berkeley, and it was the first event that I struggled with my knee, and there was a guy that was struggling with his ankle and other thing, and he was still kind of plowing through, and we ran or kind of hobbled together for a good bit, and he started coaching me about how, when we get to that next station, how to kind of cool off and get some calories in and all that good stuff, and how he was more concerned about me finishing. He wanted to see me finish, kind of deal, all the things you want to hear to kind of get through. So I tried my best, and in the end, I fell back and he moved forward, and I ended up running just slightly ahead the sweepers on the course, and had a lot of struggles and knew that there was no way I was going to meet the cutoff, but committed to just completing the course. And so I was at that very tail end where I was feeling good about I'm just going to get it done. I don't care, just finish the course. Then I got lost about 26 miles. It was a 50K. I got lost. It was funny. The race director, or one of the guys on the race organization team, called me while I was out, thinking that I was on course. And when we sort of tried to figure out a point where we can rendezvous just to see how things were going, realized that I was completely off course. So I ended up just waiting for a ride to pick me up and take me back to the start finish. But
what was it? Was it the course was not marked well, or did you just kind of miss something? How did that happen?
I think the markings were, because I was so far back and the sweepers were up by me. I think there was another set of sweepers that cleaned up ahead, where I had yet to catch up to, and and I missed the turn. So the race crew, they felt bad about it. I didn't feel bad at all because I was finally off the course regardless, and still safe. But so I was picked up, brought to the start finish, and I got to watch this guy that was trying to coach me earlier in the day to finish. I got to watch him finish, and it's just those connections that feel awesome, and I'm still trying to make those connections and hopefully be there just like you, where I can know a whole body of folks who share this joy of running, and shit, I don't have a lot of friends from high school anyways. Should be easy.
Well, I think it's really cool. Like I think the sport is like, look, when you go to like some of these races or you see these races, how many people are really competing to win them versus how many people are out there to challenge themselves and there for the experience and to learn something. And I think the people you meet are really cool and special, and 99.9% of them, from the guy and the girl that win to the person that finishes dead last, are all almost the same. Very personable, very, very nice, very kind, willing to talk to you, even during their race. I was at the Jackpot 100 in February, and I had a pretty good race. I could have done better, but I spent a lot of my time with my friend Brian Recor, and I think I finished in like 20 hours and 20 minutes or something like that. But what was fun about it for me is my family was there. So my oldest daughter, my 17-year-old, she ran the last 10 miles with me. I didn't have a pacer plan or anything like that. But at the race also was Ann Trayson, legendary Ann Trayson, right?
Yeah.
And she was dressed all colorful and whatnot. And she was plugging along, but she was so super cool and friendly. And like I stopped to chat with her, and like I introduced her to my oldest daughter, Julia, and like explained who she was. And like she was so humble and so fun to like hang out with and to see on this course. It's a loop course, so you get to see her a lot. Like I remember that the most about that race versus anything else. Like those experiences are really fun. Like I also had a good experience there sticking to more fat-based stuff. Like I barely ate anything the whole race. Like I went 20 hours eating like 2 cheeseburgers and then maybe some strategic carbs during the thing and like some like Mountain Dew just to stay awake at the very, very end, but like almost nothing to eat. So like that was a huge success too. But like seeing the people out there was the most fun part about it.
Yeah, I know that you've done that several times. How many times have you done the jackpot?
Jackpot, I think I finished 4 times out of 5. I DNF'd there the year before last. With some like I think I made like 33 miles. Something was bothering me, and I was a sissy, and I guess I just wimped out of it. But I think I've done it. I think I've finished it 4 times. I think it's been around for 5 years. I finished it 4 times. It's a really cool. You should definitely. It's close to you. You should definitely go check it out. And now it's the USA Track and Field National Championship road race. So there are some really good, talented runners that go out there. It's super fun. Super fun.
Yeah, I was thinking.
I think 5 times I've done it now.
I was thinking.
And I'm registered for next year too.
Oh.
Didn't mean to cut you off, but I'm registered for next year.
I went on their website a while back, and I think it's read somewhere that it would be a good first 100 miler. Would you agree?
Definitely. I think like if you were looking to do your first 100 of the ones that I've done, I would say that one, Jackpot, and the Umstead 100 are two excellent first time hundreds. I mean, Jackpot is a flat course. It's like a 2.5 mile loop. I think they might change it next year and separate part of the course for the national championship race versus participants, but it's definitely all runnable. I think there's maybe one little tiny hill in it in the whole thing. And half of that loop is on kind of like pavement type stuff. And then the return part of the loop, it's like almost like a washing machine type thing like Javelina is. The return part of that loop goes on a little bit of like dirt, gravel. I had my best 100-mile finish there, 1858. So it's definitely one as a first timer to take a look at when you do your first 100. I would absolutely think of that one. And then Umstead also. I don't know if you're familiar with Umstead, but that's a very nice first time race if you can get into it.
Yeah,
because that closes out in like seconds.
Yeah, I've heard of it many times. I had to pull up their website there in North Carolina.
Definitely look at that one too. So that means when are we talking about a first 100? Because we'll have to get you trained for it. We could do like 20 podcasts on how to train for your first 100.
Yeah. Let's get me to. Yeah, let's work on me.
Well, we work on you for a first 100, and it'll help hundreds and hundreds of people who listen how to get ready for their first 100 too. I mean, yeah, you could go out and buy like a book, right? Like Relentless Forward Progress, right? Brian Powell wrote a book about it. I think Carl Meltzer wrote a book about training. I'm sure Scott Jurek did, all these guys. But in the end, like it's all individual to you, right? Like they can give you the framework for it, but your schedule, your work schedule, your family schedule, that'll all dictate what has to change in any plan. Like I always went out and got a coach, right? Had a coach for the longest amount of time. Like my first coach ever in ultra running was Lisa Smith-Batchen. Legendary, right? Badwater legend.
Oh yeah.
And I've had coaches throughout the years. Jamie Donaldson, Ray Zahab coached me for like years. Marshall Ulrich gave me advice. Zach Bitter, he coached me. So I like learned a whole bunch of stuff from all these people. But what I learned is how I have to adapt to whatever training plan they help me create. Still doesn't account for the fact that I got to go to work. So I got to get this stuff in somehow. So I think it's a cool topic that we can talk about down the road.
Yeah. I mean, what's a good sort of approach? You know, I've never been able to hit the 50 on my solo attempt. We've talked about it in the past, where I call it quits somewhere around 40 miles because I've let things in my head get to me. And my thought was I could build myself up to a 50, then maybe build myself up, you know, the next step over for the 100K to the 100. Now I'm thinking, do I just think about doing the 100 and then along the way I'll knock out all those other?
You can do that. I mean, it depends on the kind of person you are, right? So some people are different, right? So if you register for 100 a year from now or whenever, let's say you registered for Jackpot in February and you know you have X amount of time to train and then you can schedule a 50, you can schedule these days too with a lot of these 100s, especially the ones that are very popular. they fill up so fast that if you don't register, you're going to be cut out. I mean, there's plenty of hundreds to do, but I think there's nothing wrong with registering for 100 and then working your way backwards and say, okay, well, I'm going to do a 50 as part of that. The only question is, do you want to use those as training, or do you want to go and try to do the best that you can? Because then you have to kind of space them out to account for recovery, because we're not all awesome like some of these great runners that can run a 50-mile race as fast as they can tomorrow and then do 100 2 weeks from now pretty fast, like Ed Eddinghausen can do, or some of those other really, really super runners who know how to recover. But the other part of it too is, like, you're talking about the solo part of it and not being able to do 50. I think sometimes you have to kind of like put the pressure on yourself and go register for something that you're traveling to and that you're bringing your family to or somebody to, so that when you get there and you're doing it, it's not so easy to talk yourself out of it, because you spend time during these races talking yourself out of it, but you could also talk yourself back into it. Like, I just flew 3 hours for this and registered and paid $150 for it, plus my flight, plus my hotel, plus I have this guy, my buddy is a pacer, and I brought him out here. So you can talk yourself back into it there. And then there's also the camaraderie and the people around you. Like on your solo run, you don't have everybody else running, like, 100 people or how many other people might be in the race there with you to also talk you out of it and to kind of like get your mind off of wanting to quit. Because I have that throughout a race, especially 100. Like, I want to quit. Like, oh, if I just quit, it's no big deal. I'll just stop. And then you see somebody and you start talking to them, and you never know. I had an experience at Jackpot. Yolanda Holder was there. Great, super person, very accomplished.
Yeah.
Really well known. And she like walks like for like a 24-hour race. And I remember it was me and my oldest, Julia. We were finishing a lap the same time she was, and she was going to stop. She was done. And I think one of the race folks said, oh, if you do one more, you'll reach this milestone or set this mark or something like that. And she was like, no. So I went up to her and I was like, oh, you know what? If you just I look up to you. You're great. You're so awesome. Will you just do one more lap for me? And she was like, she kind of rolled her eyes and shook her head. She's like, oh, I do one more lap. So you get like kind of that interaction that can talk you back into things versus the solo thing where it's just so easy and you're running by your house and you're like, oh, my bed and my shower's over here, so I'll just quit.
Yeah. Okay, I'm looking at the Jackpot ultra running.
Sign up for Jackpot right now. Sign up right now.
100.
You gotta sign up right now. You're on the phone. You're right here.
If I do it now, I save $20 after me.
Right. So it's not that expensive a race, right? It's like $145. It's not too bad.
I'm not
sign up for. I'm already registered. Sign up now.
So if I do, then I get to meet the great Tony Portera in February next year, right?
Yeah, I'll be there. Absolutely. You'll get to meet more than me, man. I'm nothing. You'll get to meet probably Ed Eddinghausen, who's always there. He doesn't miss that stuff. There's some good runners that aren't even signed up for it yet. I mean, it's still pretty early.
Yeah. Huh. Yeah, that's that. The thought of doing 100 didn't cross my mind until, 5-10 minutes ago? Just talking.
Right. So go register right now on the phone. Pull out your credit card, pop down $145 and just register for it.
Maybe, but that's not that. That's a maybe with possible, maybe possible. Because I do want, to go up in distance, and maybe I need to just shoot for the 100 and not think about climbing the ladder and then thinking about doing the next step. Maybe I should just get to the fucking top and then think about what did I step on along the way.
Why not? You can always work your way backwards, right?
Yeah. And it may work. My wife's been talking about, can you find an event that's kind of a destination? Because so far I've just been finding stuff local. I didn't start signing up for events until last year. She is open to somewhere out of here in Northern California. And
so you're saying like still in the United States, destination in the United States? Might as well just go all out and go to Greece.
I had thought about going back to Guam one day and running around there solo.
Guam? They have races in Guam?
Yeah, they. When I was in high school, I was part of a team of cross country mates. We did this perimeter race, so it's a team event, and you go around the island. It's about maybe just 50 miles, right? But we would pass the baton, and someone would jump off of the support vehicle and wait for the runner. The baton would be passed. It's a whole relay situation. But there was a guy I read maybe a few months back who completed it solo. I'm thinking that makes sense. I'd love to go back and do that event. So, but then, that's like an easy $2,000 to get round trip back to the island and stuff. So someday.
That's cool. All right, let's go to Guam. I'm in.
Right, man.
Is that it? Is that it for the first? Is this the first one, by the way? This is the first. What we didn't even talk about what the name of this podcast is, and like.
Yeah, this is the Ultra Diner.
That's right.
I haven't heard you say it, the Ultra Diner.
The Ultra Diner. Who came up with that name?
You did.
I like it. But we don't have to just talk about ultra running, right? We could talk about anything we want, right?
No, because we're gonna work towards perfecting the illusion of that we're sitting at a diner talking. Like, hey, what are you doing here?
I'm drinking coffee. I'm drinking coffee right now. Can we could do like I'm drinking coffee, talking to you. I'm scanning the web. To see what the heck is going on, because I'm tired of looking about all this politics nonsense.
Yeah, it's kind of funny. Before we recorded, like, I'm gonna go get me some coffee. So I stuck some coffee and water in the French press, and I brought it to the table by the computer, and I realized I still had a cup of Starbucks sitting waiting for me. Like, I'm an idiot.
Do you? What kind of coffee do you drink?
This is I want to say Pure Coffee Club coffee, but I'll be lying because I'm out of that stuff. This is Pete's Coffee.
I got some Pete's in here. You ever heard of this company, Bones Coffee Club company?
Yeah, I have. I've
tried that before.
Boom.
Pretty good. Not too bad. I got to get some of the Pure Coffee Club stuff. I haven't gotten some yet. I was waiting to get a free sample of it or something, but no, nothing yet. I have to get some of it. We'll arrange that one way or another. And speaking of that,
I just read on the No Sugar No Grains Facebook group that Andy wrote that they're going to be putting out their electrolyte product later this month. So I don't know how big you are on electrolyte products for any of your stuff.
Yeah, you need those. Those are good. You know what I used to use is Pedialyte.
Really?
The stuff for kids. Yeah.
Yeah. I remember doing that once on a solo run, and it was something I heard Dean Karnazes do on I think on a book or Pedialyte. Yeah,
Pedialyte, or like S caps or salt stick, or there's a whole bunch of brands of that kind of stuff too. But all right, so we're gonna have Pure What is it called? Pure Electrolyte Club? What is it? What do you gotta call it? What's it called?
I don't know. It's part of their Pure Vitamin Club.
It's part of the Vitamin Club thing. Listen, if those guys are making it, you got to get it. So. Yeah. And I'm not saying that because it's them, but because I got all the vitamins. I love the vitamin stuff. Yeah,
my counter is just, I mean, I hate to say it, but we've got tons of bottles of supplements. Not because my wife and I are like supplement junkies. That she's been seeing a couple of functional medicine docs for health, maintenance and correction and stuff. So we've got a bunch of stuff on the counter.
I got nothing on the counter. I'm trying to sell my house. I got nothing.
How's that coming along?
Dude, we could do 2 hours on the 37 new pet peeves I have that revolve around selling your house.
All right, we could do that. We'll do that on the next episode.
It's brutal. It's brutal selling your house. There's I don't know. I can't even explain the amount of stress involved in trying to sell your house and having to keep it, especially with 2 kids that are in high school, right? Who are pigs. They're both pigs. And they never clean up anything. We will talk about that sometime for sure.
Yeah.
I wanted to ask you a question though about the Pure Vitamin Club stuff because I haven't tried it yet. Have you tried that new vitamin D3 they have?
Not yet. But I don't know if it's true or not. But something to do with if you're darker skinned or lighter skinned and how that impacts your ability to absorb the I don't know, either what your body can produce as a result of exposure to the sun or whatever. So I'm just gonna have to get my hands on some and see how I feel, being hopped up on the stuff.
Do you take the other ones? Do you take the you have a subscription?
What's my stack?
What's your stack?
The magnesium I'm big on, and I found that when I washed the magnesium down with a little bourbon or maybe a lot, I get knocked out pretty good. But then I wake
and you sleep better. Okay, you got to do an experiment. Just drink the scotch, man. See how that works.
Well, here's the thing. I don't wake up feeling rested. I know that I've passed out, but I don't feel like refreshed. I do have like weird dreams, but what's most important is that I feel rested. So on the days where I don't wash it down with whiskey and it's just the magnesium and water, I ordinarily will munch down on some nuts. Like I have these Brazil nuts. I'll snack on that, like 3 of them at night. Then I'll take the supplement. Then I'll wash it down. And when I'm not washing it down with whiskey, then I feel like, yes, I'm dreaming at night. So I'm getting some good sleep and I wake up. That's just my experiment. The other things that I take are the daily multicap but it's the magnesium that seems to run out fast because I'll take a couple tabs. Plus my wife's been taking them as well. And
You take more than one? When do you take it, night or daytime? I take it at nighttime.
I take it at nighttime as well. I'll do 2.
Oh, does it make a difference, like versus one? Like
I don't think so, but I don't know. Sometimes I feel like if I take an extra one, I can sort of put an exclamation point on that fact that I'm taking it. It's kind of stupid, but I just think like I'm taking 2. I'm better than 1. Yeah.
Well, like I don't know. I guess 2 is no big deal, but you can overdose on magnesium, can't you? Like
yeah,
and like
be Professor Poopy Pants.
Yeah, like it can get worse than that too. I think like you can end up like having like throwing up and all that stuff. Like if you take too much of it.
Oh God, yeah.
But I think I've taken 2 before because every once in a while I make a mistake and I like it's a morning and I grab the wrong bottle from my counter in the bathroom and I'm taking magnesium instead of the multicap. But I know that there are different colors. So like now I know that the magnesium one is white and the multicap is a little bit darker shade, like a beigey kind of color.
Oh, I accidentally took the Viagra.
Oh yeah, that's like I eat that stuff now. I guess that's dinner tonight. Is like the whole thing of Viagra. I'm getting old. Well, this was cool, man.
Yeah,
this was definitely cool.
Yeah,
I don't know. People might think it sucks and it's boring for now.
No, I mean, by the time folks listen to this stuff, there's going to be several episodes released. We want to make sure that when we release it on iTunes, that it's a set that people can get into and sort of understand kind of the direction we're going and who they're listening. And I'll make sure that they're edited in such a way that we'll be happy. Cool.
I love it. I hope it ends up turning out pretty good and people like it and people want to come on and be like guests and stuff like that. I think that'd be awesome. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it. It should be a lot of fun. Maybe people learn some things from it too. I
hope so. If anything, it'll be a body of work that lives out on the digital world. So when the day comes that we no longer exist, this will be our legacy. Cool.
Yeah, it'll be fun. I think it'll be good. We'll have a good time. That'll be fine. It'll be good. If I can focus the whole time and not like do Google searches or try to find out how bad the Mets are today.
That's okay. Yeah. It's just like us sitting at a diner and then you're looking at your phone to find out what the scores would.
I was doing that. You know what I found out earlier? I didn't say anything to you, but this team is so inept that they freaking batted out of order in the first inning. A Major League Baseball team batted out of order in the first inning.
Wow. Yeah. I fake it till you make it.
Yeah. All right, my friends.
Right.
How do we close out the episode?
Yeah, we got to figure that out. What do you think? You've been listening to the Ultra Diner, or this has been the Ultra Diner, or can you please pick up the check? I gotta go.
I don't know, man. We can do like
check, please.
I don't know. We gotta come up with something fun, I guess.
Yeah, I'll grab some audio from like, where was it? Alice. Look, hey,
we gotta do like something like, we gotta come up with something like catchy, but that's like, I don't know, it's kind of like stupid too. There's one show on like Fox News. I'm not giving away, like, I'm not saying that I watch Fox over CNN or CNN over Fox, because I know people like jump off the cliff. Oh, he's terrible. He's a Trump guy. I'm a nobody guy.
Oh
well, what's that guy's name who does, he ends the show by saying, the show that's the sworn enemy of lying, pomposity, smugness, and groupthink. So we got to come up with like some catchy phrase for us. Okay. And then you can go pick up the check, because I'm not paying a dime for this.
Okay. Well, I'll pick up the check this time. Then we'll get some guests to pick up the check next time.
I'm the guy. I'll be running. I'll run out. I gotta go to the restroom. I'll be right back. I'll be gone.
And you crawl out the window, bastard.
I'll be gone. Yeah, hopefully we'll make this something really cool. I'm with you on that.
All right.
This is the Ultra Diner.
This is another Coffee with Heavy Cream production.